Hey guys, Tyler here, and welcome to the beautiful Lost Coast in Northern California. In this video, my friend Alex and I are doing a 3-day, 2-night trip on the Lost Coast trek. We saw some amazing things. We're gonna show you all of those things, and I'm gonna give you tips so that you have a successful and enjoyable hike like we've had. All right, let's go.
The Lost Coast journey starts long before your first steps on the trail. As you drive through groves of coastal trees, it feels like you've already left the rest of the world behind. We enter the King Range National Conservation Area and weave deeper into these rugged hills, eventually arriving to Shelter Cove. Shelter Cove is tiny and remote, and today the parking lot is completely full. But that's totally normal. If the lot is full, there's plenty of street parking nearby.
All right, so we have arrived to Shelter Cove, and this is actually where we will finish the hike. But this is where we're gonna leave my car and join Lost Coast Adventure Tours on a shuttle to the start of the hike at Mattole Beach. Now, there are other ways to do it. You can do a key swap with someone. You can organize that through a Facebook group. Or if you have more than one car, you can park a car here and drive to the start of the hike. It's about 2 hours away though, so the shuttle is very convenient. We have about an hour before the shuttle leaves, so that'll give us time to get packed up, and then we're on our way.
We get our packs loaded onto the shuttle, get a crash course on identifying poison oak, and then take our seats in the van. The drive is about 2 hours, and it's a rough one. Narrow roads, tight turns, and a whole lot of bouncing. At one point, we pass an old truck hanging from a tree, literally. The driver lets me hop out so I can grab a photo. I love weird stuff like this.
Oh, hey there. So we have arrived at Mattole Beach, and this is where we'll start the hike. But before we get going, what time is it? About 3 p.m. We're gonna have a little lunch, and that way we can dump some trash here before we get going. We're gonna have some roasted garlic mashed potatoes, a little hot buffalo tuna. More water for you there?
Oh, yes, please. Ooh, thank you. Buffalo style tuna. All right, let's try this buffalo cat food. Hey.
There are pit toilets at Mattole Beach. These will be the last toilets you will see until you finish the hike. There's also an information board where you can consult the map and tide charts. Understanding the tides is essential for this hike because there are parts of the trail that become impassable at high tide. And just like that, we're off. We start beneath the blanket of overcast skies and mist. It fits the Lost Coast perfectly, moody, raw, and wild. One of the first things you notice is that hiking in sand is a different game. Every step takes effort, and the whole route slants towards the ocean, leaving your left foot always a bit higher than your right. It adds up. The black sand is striking, almost lunar. The waves are powerful, constantly pounding the shoreline. The entire place hums with energy, and everywhere you look, there are hidden treasures, dried sea urchins, all sorts of shells, and tide pools alive with color. We pass a few day hikers at the beginning, but soon it becomes just us and this enormous coastline. A little later, we approach a massive seal colony. Dozens and dozens of seals stretched across the beach. most of them napping, a few of them squabbling or rolling around. It's unbelievable how close you can get while still keeping a respectful distance. We continue on toward the Punta Gorda Lighthouse, a weathered, lonely structure sitting above the ocean. The lighthouse is one of the iconic landmarks of the LCT, and seeing it in person feels like stepping into history. Our mileage for the day is short, only 4.4 miles. So before long, we reach Sea Lion Gulch, our first campsite.
You okay?
That water and then I slipped. I'm pretty sure I put it on poison eye. No, what is it?
Poison oak.
Yeah.
No, you're fine.
We'll find out in 3 days, right?
This is in real time, guys. This thing inflates so fast. All right, so we're just getting camp set up here. Oh, this is a nice view. We do have some neighbors. They have the bigger spot. They were here a little earlier than us, but we were able to squeeze in the tent here. So we're gonna be okay, and we have really good wind protection. But yeah, it's getting misty, starting to get chilly. I think we'll make dinner and probably call tonight early. I got the chicken pesto pasta from Peak Refuel. And we got some
Chicken and dumplings.
oh
from
yeah, Mountain House. Yep.
The next morning starts early. I take a moment to enjoy the misty ocean view, then head over to retrieve our bear canister. Bear canisters are required on the Lost Coast, and for good reason. This stretch of wilderness is home to plenty of active black bears. We get things packed up and hit the trail before eating breakfast. The trail briefly leaves the shoreline, cutting up and over a grassy hill and through a thick, bushy creek before dropping us back onto the black sand. And here's the thing about the Lost Coast. For every sign of life you see, there's often a reminder of how raw this ecosystem really is. Seabirds, wildlife, tide pools, yes, but also bones, washed up remains, and at one point what looked like a small, dead beluga. It's graphic, but it's nature, untouched and unfiltered.
So I believe we are nearing Spanish Creek, and this is about halfway from where we stayed last night to Big Flat. So if you wanted to turn this into a 3-night trip, I think Spanish Creek would be a good camp spot option. You're just above the beach here, and it looks pretty nice. Should have a good water source, so we'll go find out.
Indeed, there's fresh water just ahead, so we stopped at Spanish Creek to have a rest and eat breakfast.
This could be our home for the night. Nice little spot. Oh. Got a new chair. All right. Pasta marinara. First try lasagna with meat sauce.
It's hot.
Better than Italian restaurant lasagna.
No.
It is good
Can't
though,
beat
right?
that. But this is good. Yeah, it's good.
It's our final morning on the Lost Coast. I head down to the beach to, well, poop in the sand. That's actually the rule out here. There's no soil to dig cat holes, so you go close to the waterline so the tides can wash it away. It feels strange, but it's the Leave No Trace standard for the LCT.
It's not sexy.
Are you gonna go next?
No.
7:42 a.m. getting an early start on our last day, hoping to knock out these 8.5 miles around lunchtime so that we can begin the long 8.5, 9-hour drive home.
Our last day on the Lost Coast really is one of the best. The coastline just keeps delivering. More tide pools, more rocky black sand stretches, towering cliffs, and so many small treasures scattered along the way. After 3 days out here, you start to realize how different this trail is from almost any other hike in California. There are no switchbacks, no carved out paths, no signs pointing the way. It's just you, the ocean, and the constant rhythm of the waves guiding you south. By this time, our legs are tired, our packs feel heavier than when we started, and the sand still refuses to give us an easy step. But somehow, the miles feel smoother today. Maybe it's because we've finally adjusted to the terrain. Maybe it's because the finish line is getting closer. Or maybe it's simply that spending 3 days immersed in a place this raw changes what you focus on. You stop worrying about how far you have left and start noticing the little things. The shape of the rocks, the patterns of the driftwood, the way each wave rolls in different from the last. We pass more river crossings, more stretches of untouched coastline, and every once in a while, we stop just to watch the waves slam into the beach. The Lost Coast has a way of humbling you like that. It reminds you of how small you are, but also how lucky you are to be standing in a place so wild and so rarely seen. Looking back on the last 3 days, it feels like we've experienced a whole world compressed into 26 miles. Misty mornings, remote beaches, wildlife everywhere, shipwrecks, forests, and campsites that feel like the edge of the earth. It hasn't been easy. The sand beats you up, the tides dictate your schedule, and the trail is anything but forgiving. But that's what makes this trek special. Nothing is handed to you out here. Every mile is earned, and every view feels like a reward. By the time we round the final stretch toward Black Sands Beach, there's this mix of relief and gratitude. Relief that the hard work is behind us, and gratitude that trails like this still exist, wild, rugged, and untouched. It's the kind of place you carry with you long after the hike is over.
Alright, we are back. Another good hike in the books.